Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nick from the DesignsAcademy, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys part 2 of my tutorial on how to make a concept logo or a letter logo. In part 1 I showed you guys some tips for drawing them out on paper, kind of getting the rough sketches in, stuff like that. Not as much of a tutorial, just stuff that could help you if you're trying to do it. And part 2, this part right now, is going to be how I import them into Photoshop using the pen tool to actually get them as an image in Photoshop and get them looking nice. So let's jump into Photoshop and we'll trace out the logo. Okay guys, so now we are in Photoshop. I'm just going to make a new file real quick. I usually do 2000 by 2000 with a 300 resolution. That's usually a good size if you're not going to make it a vector image, which I'm not going to. We like to make it a little big so you can scale it up or down and it'll be okay. Let's just get this from my email really quick. And here's the logo that I just drew a new one. Not good, but it will let me get the point across. I figured I'd do an A since that's what I did at the very start of the last tutorial, or the whole last tutorial I guess was all A's. That was my kind of example letter. So I just drew this one really quick. So we've got our sketch in the file, so all I'm going to do is lower the opacity a little bit. This is why I like to add the marker on top, is because you can see the lines a lot clearer than just the pencil marks. You can see behind are kind of light. The best way to get your picture onto Photoshop is to use a printer and scan it. But if you don't have that, you could take a picture, just try to get it as like overhead of the logo as you can, because it is important for it to be as close to the sketch as you can, because you want it to be like your sketch, obviously. So I'm gonna set my brush size really quick, something about, well, never mind guys, we're going to use the pen tool and make it a solid object, so don't worry about your brushes. Grabbing the pen tool real quick, and I'm gonna start on the outside because we'll cut this middle part out at the end. So I'm just gonna go through and just kind of get it as close to my sketch as I can. You can obviously change things now if you want. It's all up to you how you want it to look at the end. I'm just gonna kind of follow this pretty closely. Sometimes it is hard to get certain like shapes with the pen tool, especially if you haven't used it that much, so just keep trying. If you alt click when you use the pen tool, like right now, you'll see if I try to draw another line, it will kind of bulge out and it'll keep the curve of the last line. So all you need to do is hold alt and click the last anchor point that you put down, and it's like a fresh point, so then it won't keep the curve and you can make your line look nice and not super curvy. So that's just a little tip with the pen tool. So I'm just gonna go through here and finish pen tooling this out. Let's see. Go through, get this side. We'll just get that kind of close. You'd obviously want to be a little bit more careful with this if you're making an actual logo. And there we go. I've pen tooled out the outline of the logo. I'm going to click Fill Path, Color, and you just kind of click Color, and then I'm going to pull up this window. I'm going to fill it with black. Click OK, and as you can see, it's filled up our layer with black. Now, just going to delete the path, and you can see on this new layer that we've created, we have the outline of the logo, which looks very strange without the cutout. So now, we're going to lower the opacity on this, and you won't have to do this if you have a logo without a cutout, but for this logo we do. So I'm going to come in here with the pen tool again and trace out this middle kind of cutout of the A, and then we will be able to select it and just delete it from the other layer, so that this has just the background in between it. I'll do that curve. Sometimes you have to zoom out a little bit more. I'm just gonna make a selection really quick so that we can go on this layer and delete it. Now I'm gonna deselect it, and and we'll turn the opacity back up, and you can see we deleted it out. This whole logo looks completely horrible, but it gets the point across. It's the same for any sort of shape that you're doing. A lot of times you will realize that you don't like logos after you put them into Photoshop, so you just gotta mess around and do more. But that is basically what you do to import your logo into Photoshop. Usually I will make kind of a nice, see, I'll go to a layer. I usually like to add a nice gradient behind the layer, or behind the logo. So a good way to do that is just a gradient fill layer. Click OK, and you can see here, if we change that one to black as well, and we'll just delete that white one. On the gradients, the white one on the top makes it so it's 0 opacity. So you can see if I change it back to 100, then it's all black now because the colors on the bottom are both black. I'm going to choose kind of like a darker gray, and then I'll sample that gray, and I usually like to go with like a bluish gray. You can hear Hayden's chair in the background now that we've got our setup so close together. Yeah, Hayden's moved into my house now, so his desk is right behind mine. We can hear his squeaky ass chair all the time. So now that I've added that, I might, let's see. This part doesn't actually affect the logo at all. This is just for if you were to send it to someone, maybe you could, you know, make it look a little bit nicer, and then you can add some text on the bottom, make it look all pretty. But yeah, guys, that is how you take your concept logo drawings, put them into Photoshop, and pen tool them out. Now obviously if you're going to use this logo, you don't want any of this back stuff. You just want the logo with a transparent background, and you're going to want to save it as PNG. We'll go down here to the drop down, PNG. You can name it whatever you want. Click save. Okay. And now you've got the logo with a transparent background. If I put it over the tree, you can see the tree through the logo. You save it as a PNG if you want the background that has nothing on it to be transparent still, because if it's a JPEG, it will save it with a white background. But yeah, guys, that's a quick little second part to the tutorial I did quite a while ago now, but I do have the new computer, so I'm going to be uploading constantly now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't seen part 1 yet and you still watched all the way up to this point, I'm going to link part 1 in the description so you guys can go check that out. But yeah, second step, super easy. If you've got a basic understanding of Photoshop, or not really even at all, you can do this. It's super easy. Make sure to comment down below ideas for tutorials that you guys have that you would like me to see, so I can do them and show you guys how. But yeah, guys, that is about it. It's been Nick from DesignsAcademy. Peace.